If I'm a fan tuning in this weekend, what's the most innovative change in the game I'm going to notice?
I think there'll be a few things that you'll see that really are different, look different. Our kickoff is different, right? And I just encourage folks to check in. People that have seen this love it. We were down in Houston again for training camp. I had a couple of my old Texas high school retired coach buddies come out to watch, and they liked the kickoff so much they wanted to take it to their coaches association. It's not difficult to explain. Right. I encourage people, Will, to go online, XFL.com, and you'll see a video, and it's well explained.
The way I explained it, where the kickoff team lines up. Yep. Now put them on the receiving team's 35-yard line. And the receiving team is lined up on the 30-yard line. So they're 5 yards away from one another. The only two people that can move are the kicker and the kick returner. Stop me if I get something wrong. And as soon as the kick returner catches the ball, then the kick team, which is now closer to him, but hasn't built up all that.
Creating a line of scrimmage.
But they haven't built up all that speed. Yep, so you're taking away from the monster hit and encouraging returns.
Yep.
Exactly right. So the velocity, we're taking the velocity out of that 40-yard sprint, right? And we think that's safer, quite honestly, because if you look at, football, whether it's college ball or pro ball, the kickoff return is becoming an endangered species. You can fair catch it in college and the NFL. Every kicker is good enough to knock it out of the end zone for a touchback. So fans told us we like kickoff returns, and we're going to have a bunch of them. They're going to be fun. I like that. I think the other thing that fans will notice is just the up-tempo pace. We have a 25-second play clock compared to contrast that with the 40-second play clock in the NFL. So, Hal Mumme, who runs a play every about 12 seconds. Yeah. June Jones every about 14 seconds. Norm Chow out in L.A. He's the offensive coordinator for Winston Moss and the L.A. Wildcats. He's going to play fast. So I think people will quickly see, this tempo really is pretty quick. I can't leave my seat and get a hot dog or a hamburger because I might miss 2 or 3 series.
What about the TV product, broadcast-wise? I heard there's some pretty interesting things that are going to be in play as far as access, especially to the players.
Yeah, access is a big word for us. So we've been working with Fox and with your folks on the TV side of ESPN and ABC, and we want to be able to tap into those conversations, to that audio that heretofore people haven't been able to be a part of, right? So a coach talking to the quarterback through the system. In fact, our play calling coach is not only talking to the quarterback who has an earpiece, but all skilled players offensively, because they'll begin to know the play immediately after the previous play, which helps, we believe, avoid a huddle. Don't waste those 6 or 7 seconds in the huddle.
And that's all for the audience as well.
Well, and we will tap into that, right? We're not going to do it constantly, of course, because we have to make sure the integrity of the game is not compromised. But there'll be some opportunities to tap in. What do the referees say when they huddle up and have to discuss a flag? Well, guess what? The referees are going to be mic'd. And we can listen into that conversation between the head ref and the sky judge who'll be
Did you
at
see
the
it?
stadium.
I don't know. I didn't see it. Did you see it?
Listen, I love this because from the player side of it and coach's side of it, arena football, we did that. When I called those games, we had the conversations. We actually talked to them during the game, but you heard their conversations, that we heard the plays, and we were told kind of what the plays were. It really helps the viewer when you can explain all that after hearing.
That's right. We may listen into the quarterback call in the huddle.
Right.
Right. And I can't, as an old quarterback, I can't tell you how many times people would say to me, "Hey, what do you say in the huddle? I mean, how come? What are you guys doing? Making dinner reservations, or what does a play sound like?" So we'll be able to provide access. That's a big word for us. Access to fans that hadn't had that access before.
Oliver Luck, the commissioner of the XFL, here on Golic and Wingo. Will Kane filling in. One of the innovations we just put up on ESPN News is going to be allowed 2 forward passes on one play, as long as the first doesn't go past the line of scrimmage. That's going to be nuts. But here's the one innovation I think a lot of football fans are interested in. Player acquisition. Are you guys going to welcome in players coming out of high school or after their first year of college? The best example of this would clearly be a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who's ready to play professional football but can't because of the 3-year rule in the NFL.
So we're not subject to the 3-year rule, the NFL's eligibility requirement, 3 years out of high school. We're not a party to that collective bargaining agreement, so we can really do whatever we want. We have not been active recruiting a high school kid or a college freshman or sophomore. We do have an interesting case, a young man named Kenny Robinson, played at West Virginia, defensive back, started his freshman year, second year, sophomore year was all Big 12 safety, good player. Some of the scouting services have him ranked as a first, second round pick. Ineligible this past college football season. He's using the XFL season as his combine. He realizes he needs more tape. He realizes he needed to kind of flesh out, et cetera. So instead of doing the combine route, he's signed a contract with us, and he's playing, be a starter for for Jonathan Hayes and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Pretty good player. I'm really excited to see that. That could become a little bit of a model. A guy gets hurt, doesn't play enough in college, might get kicked out of school for academics or whatever. So we think there's some opportunities there. We haven't aggressively gone after those guys, right? Because we think the best 400 and some players not under contract in the NFL are guys who played 3 or 4 years of college, had 3 or 4 years of NFL, in some cases CFL experience. They tend to be a little bit better than that 19-year-old kid who's still filling out and still quite isn't in his body.
You haven't aggressively gone after them, but has maybe a freshman or sophomore in college approached you guys outside of this one individual? Have others approached you?
We've had some conversations with some folks, but at this point we have nobody who isn't, outside of Kenny, who has college eligibility remaining.
Okay, and I guess then how about pay? What will the top guy make? What will the lowest salary be?
So we're paying our quarterbacks more than anybody else. Is that fair?
Come on!
Yeah, where did that come from?
Wow.
No, so we're paying those guys, healthy six-figure salaries.
Right.
We've been able to get, the Landry Jones and Matt McGloin. I mean, guys who started, Josh Johnson, guys who started and won NFL games in the last 3 years. And then but our average player, our typical player, is earning about $55,000. And what's interesting is everybody gets a pretty healthy bonus for winning a game. So there's a victory bonus. And that's something that XFL did 2001. People really liked it. So, in the locker room, there's going to be a little bit of pressure to come. Bring your A game every week, right? Because, money's at stake, right? You're playing to be able to pay your mortgage.
What's up? Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. Don't forget to download the ESPN app. And if you want more premium content, which you do, make sure that you subscribe to ESPN+. See you soon.